Hello, I'm Ariam, and these are my favorite books that I read in January of 2025. So, for January of 2025, I have four books. And let's start with Sanders' book by Tamora Pierce, because I absolutely just fell in love with this, obsessed with it. And oh my gosh, it was one of those books that, like, you're obsessed with it forever and it's in your soul, and I cannot believe that my library does not have the next books in the series. So, what are these books about? What is the series about? So, basically, we have a group of kids and they each come to this magical school. But even within this magical school, they are misfits. So they are sent to live in this cabin together, and they each have their own type of magic, and they're learning it, and it's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story. And yeah, I'm obsessed with it forever. I'm obsessed with the kids. I'm obsessed with the adults. I'm obsessed with how the adults are also misfits and how they mentor the kids and how they are similar to the kids and how they're different from the kids. And it's such a good book. I also read a book of short stories by one of my favorite authors, which was Very Deep in Other Stories by Naomi Novik. So, Naomi Novik, she wrote one of my favorite books in the world, which is Spinning Silver. And she also wrote the Temeraire series, which I also loved. It was like, I, it's not my favorite series in the world, but I also really liked it, especially the first books. And this is just a book of short stories, a collection of short stories. And as expected, it's by Naomi Novik, so I absolutely loved it. And then I read also two memoirs. The end of 2024, beginning of 2025 was definitely an era when I was reading a lot of memoirs and really enjoying them. So I read Counting the Cost by Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard with Craig Berlaze or Craig Berlaze, not sure. And basically, I was unaware of the Duggars before reading this book. But basically, Jill and Derek are husband and wife, and Jill grew up in this family that was on TV, and they were known for being like a very specific type of Christian that was having a lot of kids, and but they were on, and that basically would show that was the TV show, and when she grew up and got married, she discovered that her father had actually been exploiting them. And it was basically about her coming to terms with this and deciding what to do about it. And I just thought it was really well written, actually. Very surprising to me. It was really well written. Good job, Craig Berlaze. And I really like the story of figuring out what to do with this knowledge, where it's like on one hand it's not abusive parents, right? On the other hand, it's not good parents. Then I also read The Outrun by Amy Liptrot, which is a memoir of a woman who was an alcoholic, and she grew up in a small island in the Orkney Isles and moved to London as an adult, and gets after she goes to rehab, she comes back to live in the Orkney Isles with her parents. I thought it was I really liked following her journey, and seeing how she recovered and how she viewed the world through different lens when she was an alcoholic, when she was a teenager beginning to become an alcoholic, versus when she first started recovering, when she first comes back to the Orkney Isles, when she's like really, really much better in a much better place. So those are my four favorite books that I read in January.